All right, I told you guys I will be honest, and here I am being honest. As you can see, tears very much welled up in my eyes today. Just, honestly, just feels like a part of the game right now. Feels like a part of everything. Feels like this is stuff I'm supposed to go through, but it doesn't feel good in the moment, obviously. What do you do with disappointment? What do you do with expectations you had about how you thought things would go and it didn't turn out well? I mean, that's just a basic human experience for all of us. And today, that really hit home for me. It really did. Because honestly, it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you have dreams and aspirations and goals, especially when they seem to be selfless, when they seem to be focused on others, on what you want to do for others and how you want to provide for others, and how things just don't come together. And for me, I was very emotional about that today. And it's hard, honestly, because God calls me to pray without ceasing, to rejoice always, and to give thanks in every circumstance. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that's easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I always feel like doing that, right? But when you work hard at something and you feel like you're really good at it, obviously I know I have a ways to go, but I know at the same time I'm learning a lot, and sometimes the fruit just doesn't show. And again, like I mentioned before, today I was faced with that reality. What am I going to do about it? How am I going to approach the situation now? I had to ask myself some tough questions, right? I feel like God put it on my heart, like just speaking to me. If you never achieved what you want to achieve, could you still have a joyful life? And I didn't have the answer. I knew what my answers should be, because if God calls me to rejoice always, I should be joyful no matter if I accomplish my goals or not, right? And God He didn't promise me wealth, and I gotta I don't think wealth is promised in the Bible either, right? So why do we get so, speaking to myself, fixated on the result, fixated on the goal, whatever it is, whatever you're doing? If you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you're in school, if you're a parent, if you're an entrepreneur like myself, if you're working a job and you have hopes of climbing up the ladder, we get so attached to the results. I'm talking to myself here. You can look at yourself, but I'm just journaling my experience. Sometimes I get too attached to the result and I forget my why. Forget why I'm doing it sometimes. And then sometimes I remember my why and it's still a little sad and still a little disappointing that I'm not where I want to be. So sometimes I find myself struggling with the balance of being content in every circumstance, but also striving for more, also wanting to grow and expand and use the gifts and the talents that God has given you. And with a lot of this stuff, I mean, since starting this channel, even before when I had my vending company, my goal with this is not to give you guys some facade of what life is like, right? Think of a pastor in a pulpit. They have to face the music first. That word pierces them first, and then they go out and preach it to others. Like Paul says, I don't want to be, lest I myself be disqualified. Right? But Paul preached something that he's not practicing. So I'm making this video to hopefully encourage someone else out there who's going through the same thing. Like, you're frustrated, you're upset, you're putting in the work, you're putting in the time, and yet you don't see the results. And honestly, I have to get on my knees today and pray out to God and really seek his wisdom and remember what he has said and what he has promised in his word. Like in John 15, when Jesus says, these things I have spoken to you, that my joy may remain in you. and that your joy may be full, right? So even as an entrepreneur, someone who feel like God has given him a skill and a gift to produce money, it's fine. It's a tool, it's a resource, like we talked about in my last video. And just learning like how detached should I be from the result, right? Versus putting the work in versus depending on God. Like, are they all these three things, are they combined? When do I use them interchangeably? Like, I need wisdom. I guess another tip that helps me get through times like this is remembering when most people quit when things get hard, right? Or they have shiny object syndrome. Oh, that's a new thing. That's the best new thing. I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. And then, like I've heard it mentioned from Alex Hormozi, they get into the new thing, it's hard, and then it's not what they think it was, so they quit, and then the next shiny thing comes on, and you're kept in the cycle over and over and over again. Don't get me wrong, there are many verses that support and encourage hard work and diligence. I'll pull up some on the screen here that I took notes of. I don't know them by heart. I just looked them up recently, right? And ultimately, it's God's blessing at the end of the day that blesses everything you're doing when we commit our plans to Him. And it's just tough sometimes, not gonna lie. It's tough. And that's fine. That's okay to say. If you're feeling the same thing, it's okay to say it's tough. If you're a Christian in this race, or you're just a person in this race, and you're realizing that it's tough and it's hard, that's fine. That's a human, normal thing, right? But now it's time to separate yourself. It's hard, and what? What are you gonna do about it? Would you rather it be easy? What kind of person do you want to be? When you're on your deathbed, do you want to sit there and think that I could have done better? I could have given more. I could have given more of my time, my resources, my knowledge. I could have given more effort. And one thing I know that I can control is my effort. Day in and day out. I can rejoice always. I can pray without ceasing. In every situation, I can give thanks. I can work hard. I can trust God, right? My time will come. What that looks like, I don't know. And I'm honestly navigating these feelings in real time with you guys. Like, I just had my big moment of emotions less than 10 minutes ago. I'm on my break at work, so I'm going through these feelings in the car. So, and that encourage you guys to push past your emotions, even though they're very valid and they're very real, and still choose to honor God by working hard, keeping Him first, thanking Him for what He's given you, laying down your life for Him, serving others. Then that's what matters. That's the encouragement. That's what's gonna stick at the end of the day. Since God created us, He knows what's best for us. Since He knows what's best for us, He's gonna tell us, if you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love. And we can't bear fruit without being connected to the vine. So I feel like I'm a lot better now. I feel a lot better. I know what I need to do in terms of my attitude in approaching this. Like, I'm gonna have moments like that, and I think it's a sign of maturity to see how quickly I'm able to regroup and, by the grace of God, have my mind renewed by His word. To be grateful for what I have, to be grateful for what you have and the people you have around you. And that even if you never accomplish what you wanted to or set it out to accomplish, could you still live a joyful life? That's all.